Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're starting a new project. We've got a lot of Jeeps around here. We're gonna take 3 and make 2 out of them. There's 2 Cherokees and a Wrangler. The body from the Wrangler is what was left over from the frame for the Jetta. So I took the body apart. You'll see that if you go back to the beginning of the Jetta videos. You'll see that's where that frame came from. But now I got all these body parts. I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? So I had an idea to make a lowrider Jeep. I've seen others done. I just want this thing around the ground, as low as I can get it. And let's see what we can do. Basically, I'm gonna fix all the panels I have here. I'll show you those in a minute. As factory, we've got some stuff on order to get the Jeep down, the frame down on the ground, and once it's down there, we'll start putting these body parts on, and we'll see what we can do with it. I don't know. My goal is to win a limbo contest with it. So we'll go to one of these car shows to have a limbo contest. I want this Jeep to drive in at ride height and look normal, but come down to the ground. So we'll show you what we got, and something that we've already started on. The hood I stripped over a year ago on the idea of I just do it in between stuff, and never got back to it. So we've cleaned up the hood. We got the fenders and the grill in here right now. We're going to work on that today. It's raining outside, so we'll get this stuff cleaned up and epoxy primed. And then we'll set it aside and work on more of it until we get the body, the frame down on the ground. And then we'll clean the body up, put the body in. Probably gonna channel the body and get it all the way down as low as I can go. I was looking at it the other day, looking at it, seeing how I can get this done. Should be fun. So let's show you what I got, and let's get to work. Hi, and welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. Okay, first off, we got the grill. Grill's in pretty good shape. It's got a little dent right here they gotta deal with. Other than that, I think we're gonna be in good shape with this. We'll fix that and strip all the paint off it, get it cleaned up, sand it down at least, and see, it looks like it's got a little blow right across here a little bit too, so yeah, we'll fix that up. This fender got a rot hole, so we're going to have to repair this and repair it here. The other fender looks a little better, but once we strip it down, we'll get a better look. Now, the hood I took off my other Wrangler, which I'm going to restore eventually. So this is probably not the best hood. I'll probably just buy a new hood, or I don't know. We'll see what we can find. The hood off the green one was dented so bad, so we stole this hood off it. And this had rust across here. A year ago, I put Ospo on this whole thing. And I left it that way for, let's say, the last year. It didn't get any worse. It didn't rust. And I was able to clean it up. Now it looks pretty good. And there's some pitting in it. That's kind of why I'm not using it on the restoration build, because I want that to be a little nicer. But it'll do for this. So what we're going to do for today, while it's raining, we're going to strip the outsides of all this and see what we need. Once it stops raining, I'll sandblast the inside, get all this inside stuff cleaned up. But for now, it's just best to do the outside, and it gets us started while it's not so nice out. So I'm gonna start off on my grill. I'm gonna sand it all down, and we'll bring it back when we got some of it done. Okay, so here I'm just wiping down the grill. It was pretty dirty from sitting around for a while, and before I start sanding it, I just want to get all the dirt off it. Mostly because sanding over dirt just clogs up your sandpaper. There's really no point in it. So before I even start sanding, I just want to give it a good wipe down, get all the garbage off it, and get it ready for sanding. Well, that was the easy part. Now as I do the rest of this all by hand. There's a little rust on the bottom, but it wasn't too bad. We'll take care of that. And the back of it will probably just sand it by hand. So this will be a long, boring job, but we'll get it done. We'll bring it back once this is done. We'll move on to the fenders. Okay, we spent a little bit of time, got this fender here cleaned up, and this one here looks good. So it's got no rust on the outside, it's got a little on the inside. Well, there's a patch right here. We're gonna have to sandblast that. I'm gonna cut this out and put a new one in. That held the horn, so they put a whole patch in here to hold the horn bracket. I don't know, but either way, we'll take care of that. We'll blast that once it's nicer outside. This one here, though, gonna need a patch here and a patch down here. The big plus to all of this, they're flat panels. So I'm just gonna cut what I need, bend it over on the edges, and weld it in. So this should be a pretty easy fix here. And this here isn't too bad. It's got a little roll on top, but otherwise, again, a pretty easy fix. So I'm going to cut up some metal, make some patches, and we'll repair this. This is the base to our project right here. It's a 2004 Wrangler frame. Now this thing's been sitting around here probably 10, 20 years. Actually, back in the day, I took it off of a 2004. It had a diamond frame. It was a brand new truck. And we put a new frame underneath it, and this one came home. And it's been sitting just like you see it for 20 years. So now it's time to have some fun with it. We're going to see, what we need to do and what we can do to basically put this thing on the ground. I mean, lower than it is now, sitting on that little dolly. Let me show you the body. You always go back, look on the Jetta views. Okay. There's the donor Cherokee. That thing's been sitting out here for years, and we're going to use the drivetrain out of it. And over here is the body. Now I measured it from rocker to the hinge is about 30 inches, maybe 29. So it's gonna be close to what I want. So we'll start with that, switching things over. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the chassis on some stands. We're gonna take the suspension out of this and put it on that frame. But yeah, I'm excited to get started on this. So I want another toy. And I think it's a really cool thing to have. My vision for this is to be able to not only slam it on the ground, but to drive it at ride height, where it looks like a regular Jeep Wrangler. So when you come into, a show or whatever, you put it, it's up high with probably 30s, 31s, maybe 32s underneath it. I don't know. We'll see what size tire I end up with. That I could drop it right down underneath them. We're going to work on this next. Like I said, we're going to try to do a Friday video with this. And then Tuesday videos, you'll get to see this painted and put together. And the Mustang. And the Jetta. Take the front end out of the other Jeep and see what's left. But looking forward to a fun winter project. And here we go. So I don't throw anything away. Everything I have I keep. So that's where we stand right now. And let's get to doing something. Okay, I set the frame up here now. It's ready to get the front end put in. But we got to take it out first. So again, here's the Cherokee. And what we're going to do is going to jack it up. Now, this week I bought a little trailer. It was too narrow to fit the Cherokee on it, so I ended up extending it. And the axles were only like half shafts. They bolted in. They're bolted in right now, right about here. They were bolted in back here underneath, and it slides out. So I slid it out. I put a brace in, and we should be good now. This is wide enough. It was 60 inches before. Now it's 80. So we added that much to it. So it's wide enough now to fit the Cherokee. Hopefully it can hold it. If not, we're gonna find out. I gotta strap the lights up. They're just hanging on right now. I'm gonna end up replacing those with round lights that fit inside the back here, because those lights look like they've been smashed a few times. The guy I got the trailer from said that used to bottom out and smash the lights. So we got this fixed up. We think this will hold. So maybe there's some kind of little camper trailer or something. I don't even know. But all it's got to do is just hold that. Once I got the wheels off of this, we'll just hold it. We'll just hold it up in the air and I can move it around. And that's what it's really all just about. So I'm gonna put the lights back on. I'm gonna move this over in front of the Cherokee, because once the front end's out, I'm gonna need something to hold it up. And we'll see if it can hold it. So let's get to that. Okay, I got the Jeep jacked up. What we gotta do, let's get through some of these. All right, down in there is the top of the shock. We gotta take that off. Okay, this thing's been sitting for quite a while. Anyhow, we gotta take the shocks. Gotta disconnect the shocks, so those are holding it. Gotta disconnect the sway bar links and the steering arm, which is right in there. Take that off, and hopefully, and we gotta take off the arms. There's one down here and one up inside of that hole. So we got the drive shaft take off, got to take off the brake lines. What else we got in here? That probably will do it. So we're gonna start with the stuff that's easiest to get to. I could just take the sway bar all right off this. Leave the sway bar links on for now until it's out of the car. It might be easier just to pop them off. They're right there. And I'll probably need those on the other chassis anyway. So take off as little as possible and make this happen. Say once this is off, I can start sliding the trailer underneath it, and hopefully just pick this up high enough to get that trailer underneath. But we'll see. Let's see. Once all the suspension's off, I'm trying to think, the engine will probably be the lowest part of the thing, so it's probably going to slide on those. That's probably where it'll slide on the trailer, because I'm probably put the wood back on it so it moves. And then once this is out, we're going to test fit everything. We'll get it fit. Then all it's going to come back apart and get cleaned and painted, because I want it to look like it's brand new when it's going back in. And this Jeep's been sitting probably at least 10 years. So I forget when I took it apart. It's been quite a while. So let's get this part. Just starting to ramble here. And we'll see what we need to get this front end on the ground. Okay, so the sway bar is down. Now I've juiced up the arm here for the steering. And I got it mostly off. Now, before I take this off, I double checked, made sure my steering wheel is straight and everything is straight. That way there, I know it's going to be straight when I put it back together. If something moves, something changes, I know to put it back to straight. Steering box is where it needs to be straight. All these things have to go together. Take the bolt the rest of the way off. We're going to knock this loose. I've got it's like a pin hard bar across here. That's going to need to come off. So I'll have to see if I can get up in there and break that loose next. And that'll get all the front stuff done. And then we'll go take the shocks off after that. So I'm going to get this bar off right here. We'll get this bar off in there. And we should be in good shape with the front of all of this. I still got to take the brake lines off. So yeah, just keep it going. Okay, I got that bar off. Obviously they're all stuck in there. So what I basically did was took my hammer, I hit it right in the frame. Just kept hitting it about, I don't know, 6-8 times I guess it took, and then it just popped down. Did the same thing up here, just tapped it on the sides, and that dropped down. So, I mean, they have pickle forks. It usually damages the boots and ruins all that stuff. You can hit the solid part where it's connected in, and usually the shock will send them loose. So, not always, but most time. Okay, so with these off, everything in the front now is disconnected. I'm going to release the shocks. Now, I'm going to put a jack underneath this thing so it just doesn't fall. Because once those shocks let loose, these arms are the only thing holding it, and they should just release. They'll just going to fall down to the ground. So let me get a jack underneath this thing, and then we're going to take the shocks off. Okay, after I got the shocks off, we dropped the drive shaft. All it's holding now, that I can see, will be brake lines. Actually, brake lines come up here. So we'll just take these off right there and then just cut the top line, because I'm not going to reuse that. Might not even reuse the bottoms. But yeah, we'll take the brake lines off it there. And I guess all that's left is these bars. As you can see, I cut the brake line on top, unbolted the flex line, and now those are free. Okay, so next thing we'll start hitting these bolts in here. There's one in there. Now that spins, so I'd say I take it from the other side. So we'll have to, this has a lock on it to stop it from spinning. So we're going to put some PV Blast on this bolt and this bolt down here. And guess we'll try taking those off. Okay, so all the arms are disconnected. I should be free. Pull the jack out. Springs are still kind of connected here. I think they got to break them off the bottoms. Let's see what we got. Nice little mat here to lay on so I don't get all dirty. Let's see. Okay, there's a lock on the bottom of the spring. So I can show you what we got. See that right there? Okay, so there's the lock holding the spring on. So I got to take that off on both sides so I can get the spring out of here. And then this thing should roll right out. Okay, I think it's free. So we're going to try to slide this out. We'll turn it around and put it underneath that other frame. And hopefully it all works out. I don't have enough room for the tires to come out, so I take tires off. Okay, put tires back on. Okay, I'm going to roll it over, turn it around, and slide it underneath that frame. I'm going to put a block on that to weight it down. Okay, now everything back together in reverse. Okay, I put the shocks in, I put the lower control arms in. The uppers are going to have to wait. I got to take them off the Jeep still. I disconnected them in the front here just because it was a lot easier to get to. Now, I wonder how it's gonna fit, because this is right down as low as it goes. And as you can see, there's not much in there, so things might have to get moved around. Like this is hitting, so I might have to adjust a few things to get it, because it ain't gonna go in much lower. So let's see. Okay, let's see what we got to do next. I'm gonna take the arms off the Jeep, and then we'll put those on here. Okay, so we got it in. Sway bar may not work on that. I'll have to figure out something about that. That's for this, as low as it is, this won't go up. There's just no way that's gonna just hit. It's hitting, right there on that arm. So that may not work. Right now it's sitting as low as it can go. It's not hitting the rear end. It is hitting the steering. So I may have to change some of that. Put another bracket, make a bracket lower maybe, so that it can do that and come up. We'll see. We'll definitely figure it out. So right now there's no springs in it, so it's as low as it can go. Not as low as I want though. So we'll have to figure that out. Next we're gonna do is now that we know that the front definitely fit, it's not a problem. Gotta put the back on. and that we won't know won't fit. That's going to have to be made. So we're going to take the rear end out of the Cherokee. That's got a leaf springs, and obviously we're not going to use that. We're going to put airbags in it. So we've got 4-link suspension coming, and we'll mount that on when we're ready. We're going to do tack weld the rear end in place just so it's there. And then we're going to set the motor and tranny in here so that we can figure out what the pinion angle needs to be for the rear end. So there's a lot of little pieces to the puzzle that still need to come together to make all this work. But here's a start. Looks like got emergency brake cables disconnect. Take the U-bolts off, the shock, and the brake line. And that should free us up. Okay, so brake lines are loose. There's a vent line up here that I had to take off. Disconnected the U-bolts and all that. The shock here is loose, but it's not coming off. Oh, there it goes. Okay, shock is off. Do the same thing to the other side. So obviously this thing's gonna need a brake job and all that later on. For now, not worried about it. This side's loose. We're gonna jump on the other side, get that side all loose, and get this rear end out of here. So it's coming along nicely. Some of these stubborn bolts, we're gonna use the heat. See what we can do to get them loose. Don't take a lot, a little bit of heat on it. It usually breaks them loose. Simple as that. Now we'll do the other one. Okay, so I got the rear end over here. Basically just stuck it up and put a couple tack welds on it. It's just in place. It's nothing yet, but as you can see, chassis is pretty low. I got maybe 3-4 inches underneath right now, but that's as low as it can go. See, right now there's no springs. It's sitting as low as it could possibly go. I mean, I got to move some arms on the steering because that's hitting, but it's really, if I put the airbags in here, I'll have to cut this tube off, and we'll probably end up, I don't know, cutting some of this apart and figuring out how to make it perfect. But I think the airbags will go on this pedestal here. I'll just make it big enough to fit the airbag, and they can go right there, and this will be able to pick up. So we've got a rolling chassis now. That was the first step I needed to do. Next I want to do, just for clearance stuff, I need to figure out how to get the engine mounted in there. I'll figure that out, and then we can move forward from there. But for now I need to figure out how to get the engine in and all that set up, because to actually put this where it needs to be once the 4-link is here, I need to know where the transmission and engine are going to go. So we'll figure out all of that stuff and keep moving forward on this. We'll have to move as we get parts and do things we need to do, but I need to get that on. I want to put the body in. We're going to channel the body down and get it as low as we can. So we'll be cutting out the floors and all that stuff and see where we can end up. But for now, it's a rolling chassis. I think we'll end this video right here. We got what we wanted to done. And now we'll do the modifications we need to get it all right. I said I'm gonna put the steering box in it. Hopefully I can steal it right out of that one there. That's why we're gonna take it all apart and we're gonna see what we can use. So hopefully if I can steal the steering box, then we'll just make everything fit. If I can't, then I'll have to buy what I need. But yep, that's where we're going to leave it now. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, notifications, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.